For convenience, let it be, okay, let's call it a hitting hand, because you launch a blow with it. It'll be easier for us this way, otherwise you just twist it again and again. As time passes, you won't pay attention to this anymore, and won't be able to make it correctly anymore. That's why you can create an image in your head that you hit with this hand. Okay, in reality you will use it for hitting. It'll be a hitting hand. This is a forward twisting. There is such an element as twisting of a stick forward. Okay, now I'm twisting a stick forward. Try to twist it directly, without any deviation, in a vertical plane. Your thumb acts like an axis around which it turns. Okay, not literally, but I mean it shouldn't move like this. It should move right along the central axis. In this case, we don't waste force holding it. We just try to keep it under control. It's the same with twisting backwards. These are the simple elements or moves. The same with the arms. We use the same principle here. I twist them forward. You should make your muscle memory work here. The way your hands touch each other, how you twist them backwards. If you watch me attentively, then you can see that I kind of hit myself with the left hand. Then with the right one. Then a transition. Left hand, and right one, and left hand, and right one. Now forward, right hand, left one. I mean, they take turns. It's not that only one hand is at work here. I don't know how to repeat it, not just one hand but both of them, backwards and forwards. Maybe you won't achieve great results at once, but you'll improve the coordination of your moves, you'll develop it. Or take turns, for example, 3 forwards, 3 backwards, or 4. This way you'll train your brain not to think, but do it automatically. First, of course, we'll think prior to doing, just to not get confused. I mean the transition of the hands. But then you'll get rid of this feeling and won't think about it anymore. As time passes, you'll just do these moves automatically, in this or that direction, according to the situation you're in. You'll need to create a point of support and use it. Come here. So, mind the point of support, and think how and when to hit him. Maybe with your elbow, like this. Here's my wrist, I can injure his eyes. Or I can launch a blow with the backside of my palm or my elbow. So here you work with a human being, with the shape of his body. Before you did some training exercises that helped you develop some skills and learn the moves. Now you can apply all this while working with a human being. 20. Okay, now we're going to talk about movement in public places. I mean places where there are a lot of people. For example, a crowd, underground, tram, trolleybus, public transport, queue, market, or some other place where people are close to each other. Plus, there can be some bad factors. Sleet, for example. People move slowly in this case. When it's sleety, it's preferable not to take large, stable steps. Well, not large, but stable, because broad steps are bad for sleep. Your weight is spread, and when the center of your mass shifts, you may slip. That's why you should take small steps like this. Plus, there's a high concentration of people in one place. What I want to say, some time ago this technique helped me out a lot, and I've already told you about it. I mean, how to get out of a crowd and make your way through it so that people won't be aggressive or pressing on you. So that you can make this not so obvious. I mean that you push people. We've already discussed the area of a knee, the outside surface of a knee, the side of his foot. I place my knee here near the side of his foot. Here's a special point near the heel, near my toe. And I make him lose his balance pressing my knee like this. We can do this element in dynamics as I told you before. So, do it this way. If he has his right leg there, you can also use your right leg. Come here, please. So, I'm walking, he's walking. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, so, a human being. When I was young, we went to the market regularly, and we often had those huge women in our way. They moved like an icebreaker pushing through the crowd. At that time, I started to think about all this. My weight was little at that time, around 60 kilos, and everybody pushed me to the side. So, when a person was in my way, I placed my leg this way and pressed with my knee. They went aside. Then the next, and the next one. But of course, you should think of the situation you can use it all. Because you can't just walk like that every time, pressing with your knees. It looks ridiculous sometimes. It should look natural. When you're close to a person, then you can do it like this. Come here, I'll do it slowly now. So, your arms are here. I can also use either his hand or this one's push him sideways. This is the basic element of influencing the lower part of one's body. I mean below the waist. Plus, both of us have our own weight. We make some changes, and here at work is the mass of the body. Dynamics, direction, and the force vector. All this helps to suppress him. Okay, previously we were talking about crowded places. Transport, for example. Very often people are stubborn and don't want to let you out. It's all about people's character, mentality. Especially when no one wants to make way for you, or everybody is tired. Or if it's morning and no one wants to go out and then back. The area of the knee, both mine and his, is a weak point. I position my leg this way and then the pelvis is at work. I push myself off the ground like this, the same effect here, and then I go out. The same move can be used while moving through small bushes. Well, not small bushes, but new, young bushes, or new trees. When the branches are new, not stiff, but stretchable and thick. So, we place our leg like this. If there are some thorns, then it is better to put on some protective gear in order to preserve one's clothes and body. So, we put it on this way and move like this, and then further. And the branches are closed behind you automatically. You can use this as an apply tool or quick camouflage. So, you get through it and it's closed automatically. Or you can use it while getting through thick forest areas, which are hard to move through. Because you can easily injure there your eyes, face, etc. I mean, when you need to protect yourself somehow. Here we can only imitate all this. It's better to train this in the open air. Here we can only have a look at this element. So, I place my leg here. For example, I'm walking or standing in a trolley bus. So, he's holding onto something and I need to go out. His shoulder's in my way. So, what to do? Okay, wait a second. Imagine this is a handrail. Here I can do nothing with his hand. Of course, he can hit it or do some other things. For example, I hold it this way. Here's my hand. Okay, I'll support a stick here. Now I turn the lever that is below, this way. The same principle works here as in releasing from the hold. Imagine that this is a handrail. This is my second hand, which is between the handrail and his arm, which was previously at the top. I raise it like this. I mean, a lever works here. It's the same here. He's holding this handrail. I can hold it here or from this side and then release it. First I create a point of support, then a lever, due to your bones. It's a long, rigid object, the same here. So, I place my hand here and then release it. Okay, done. I use my leg here like this. Ha, and he's done. With this example, we've seen what a point of support, lever, force and release are. Where you can use all this in life, in our case it's public transport, or on the streets. We've also looked at how to move through a crowd. Again, please. It's hard for me to shift him aside. Of course, you can use some other elements. I push him, for example, into the thigh or the shoulder, or I can do vice versa. So, you begin to see all this clearer. Either to pull his arm, hit in his groin, or do some other things which people may know and use. So they become more apparent. But there are some things that aren't so obvious, and if you use them correctly, nobody will think that you've done this on purpose. And it's very effective. For example, if I stand like this, I press him with my knee and he's ready. If you need to add some moves, you can easily do this. Nobody will notice it. Okay, not that nobody will notice it, but in the right place, in the right time, you'll do it correctly. Here's a handrail. Okay, stand here. Stop. Imagine that an entrance is here and some drunk man or some other person that you just can't go around. The same situation, I can place my hand below or at the top, like this for example. Oh, the stick falls down. Okay, I hold it this way and then release his hand. You can get his hand sideways. I mean, at the moment he loses contact with the stick, like this, I took it away and down. There can be some stairs here, so I place my leg here and push him with my shoulder. It's a kind of front trip. The arm is like a lever here. So, use all these movements. You can use his little finger here, the little finger, but the wrist is tough, so it's not always easy to grab his little finger. Nevertheless, mind that there can be such a possibility. We bend it this way. It's the same with our arm. Cathetus, and a hypotenuse. So, I bend his little finger along the hypotenuse and he's down. But again, there is no 100% guarantee for this element. A person that does it should have some experience because he can face some feedback reaction, which can be difficult to handle. Okay, what else? There's his pulse here, but you can't just press it. You can launch some blows there, the same as we do when we knock an object out of the hand, in the area of the pulse. But it all depends on the situation. If it's just an everyday life situation, then it'll look ridiculous. That's why you should assess the situation. For example, I can do with his hand, and using my shoulder I push him. Combine it with your legs, as I've already shown you. I can place my leg here, it's a front trip. A front trip, I place my hand here or here. In this way I can remove his hand. Here's my leg. If you don't have to camouflage something, I take his elbow, the elbow, no, you hold it. This is a handrail, so to speak. I take his elbow and push it. I use the point of his support that he depends on. Take his elbow and push it. It's not a complicated move, but it works well.